All right, next topic. Staying in kind of the same family of games, I want to talk about Halo, specifically the future of Halo.
I'm so happy. I'm a huge Halo guy. I am maybe the world's biggest like Halo apologist / fanboy.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, this should be fun. Where's your kind of status with Halo at this point?
It's been my life. Like, I mean, you know me. That was my introduction into shooters, and then from there, like it made me who I was today. Like I'm known for shooting games, and I do well in shooters, and it all originated with Halo.
Has your interest waned at all in the franchise?
Yeah, it definitely has. I think 5 in terms of campaign was a little lackluster. I really enjoyed the multiplayer a lot. I think Halo 5's multiplayer is like the Counter-Strike for consoles, where there's no aim assist and there's a huge like hardcore learning curve, which I love about it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone would contest that Halo's influence as a shooter has kind of dwindled over the past couple years. Like it used to be, like when Halo 3 released, like that sold on day one like 12 million copies. Like it slayed.
Not on day one, over time.
Yeah, something crazy. But it broke all sorts of records, right?
Yeah, it did top out. I have stats, yeah. Halo 3, it worldwide sold 12.1 million.
Yeah.
Now.
Which for an exclusive single console game is an
huge.
absurd number. Yeah. And that was in 2007. So like it's crazy, right? But Halo isn't seeing those numbers now. Also, Xbox itself is in a tough spot compared to PS4 when it comes to units out in the market. So it's on the fritz a little bit. But the game itself has never been better. The way they've evolved the speed, the way they've evolved the features.
You're talking about multiplayer.
Multiplayer.
I mean,
you can transition the speed. You can put that into campaign too.
Yeah, I mean, like I criticize the campaign just like everyone because it's not interesting and it's not a good story. But what you're doing in the campaigns is a lot of fun. You're basically playing alongside Spartans the whole time. They can revive you and stuff. There's awesome, cool mechanics that work in that regard. They introduce
this whole build up between like Chief and Locke.
I know. Like I said, I'm not even talking about the story.
That shit lasted
for
like 2 seconds, and all of a sudden we're like, hell yeah, Spartans.
But like they introduced like branching paths, like multiple ways and like walls you could tear down as a Spartan. Like you felt, and all the new Spartan abilities just felt really like updated and fast, and like you felt very powerful as a Spartan, where before you kind of felt like floaty and slow. So they did a lot of really interesting stuff to change the gameplay, and I think the gameplay has never been better. Like I think it's the best since Halo 2.
Yep, I completely agree with that.
Because of that, like I still play Halo multiplayer every day. Like it's so much fun. I'm the only one in the office who now still plays it, but like I still play all the time because it's so much fun. And it's a gun skill game. Like it is a steep learning curve. It's hard to be good at, and that's the type of game I gravitate to. I'm a Counter-Strike guy, so.
Yep.
So look at since we were talking about numbers a little bit earlier, in terms of the franchise history, Halo 3 was its peak at 12 million. Halo 4 hit 9.8 million, so not much less.
Halo 4's good.
And then Master Chief Collection at 3.4.
Troubled launch.
Troubled launch, and
was rough.
Also,
it's a remaster. It's old games.
Yeah, it's old games.
Halo 5 at 4.7. So that's where you did see that kind of steep drop off. But what you're saying is very accurate, where there's just not as many Xbox
Also,
One
take a look at
the time.
Yeah. Also, take a look at what was it?
4.7.
4.7 million units sold for an exclusive game that doesn't have Halo attached to it is still a strong sales number, right? So like, we're talking about like what I'm trying to think of a Sony like what did Uncharted sell
in that realm. I'm pretty sure some of the Uncharted hit up in the 8 realm as well, but some of them also were down in the 4. So
yeah, so like when you're talking about console exclusives, if you're selling over 1 million, like that's good.
I mean, that's huge.
Yeah. So what you're doing is you're comparing like Halo's kind of decline in its influence and relevance, where it's still very big. You know.
Absolutely. I mean, it isn't the Call of Duty level, but that's because Call of Duty is on multiple. There's multiple SKUs across everything.
Yeah, that, and also just Call of Duty is like it is the biggest selling game in games, maybe minus GTA. Like Minecraft
and Grand Theft Auto. But the thing with Halo as well. So then there's the other games like Halo Wars, for example. Halo Wars, the original, topped out at 2.6 million.
That's
Halo Wars.
absurd for that game.
Dude, people love Halo
Yeah,
Wars. It's
like,
got like a hardcore cult
That's a
following.
that's a niche. That's a niche
And it
game.
plays
Spin
very
off
well
different
for an
genre.
RTS
Yeah,
on a
like,
console
it's
too.
an
You were into it. Your
RTS.
brother was really
My brother
into
was
it.
super into it, and I was into it because like I just want more of the
Yeah, I
Halo
love
universe, you know?
So the story of Halo Wars and the cutscenes are
Oh,
really,
awesome.
really good.
Blur,
Awesome.
man.
Yeah.
Blur is great stuff.
But that is so mind-boggling to me because that's an RTS on a console. Like RTSs in games just in general, even on PC, aren't a big
They're
genre.
not a big thing right now. StarCraft's trying to make a comeback though.
Yeah, but they're always trying to make a comeback. I love StarCraft. I think in a perfect world, StarCraft 2 would be the highest viewed esport because it is the one with the highest skill cap. And it's the most difficult in terms of like strategy and gameplay and stuff. It's very impenetrable. But people like accessibility, so LOL and Dota.
So with Halo Wars 2, that came out February, it was one of the more recent Xbox One exclusives that came out. It's kind of hard to say it's a big exclusive, but it does have Halo in the name. As of the end of April, so after 2 months of it happening, because it came out late February, 250K sold, which is not a failure. Good sales for the level that went into that, but it is not a huge hit.
I mean, I might qualify this as a failure. We talked about this on Podcast Unlocked, another show, which I'm kind of like the rotating chair on. This is a game that didn't really see an effective level of marketing. Like, the first game did really, really well in terms of what it was for the franchise. You're attaching Halo to it. Your sore Xbox right now in the ecosystem is sore on exclusives. You would have thought that they'd put a little bit of marketing, like put some TV ads out, try and get the name out there, try and get people interested in this. And you didn't really see a lot of that going out there. And I think it contributed to the game not selling all that well.
But at the end of the day, regardless of it being Halo, it's an RTS.
Yeah.
On
The
a
first one
console
sold really
too.
well.
Like,
Well, it sold well over time, though. You know, we're only 2 months into this, and we'll see.
But
Yeah,
It
so
is
we'll
a
see,
different.
who's talking about Halo Wars 2 now? You
No
know?
one.
No one.
Yeah.
So that
no-
number won't go up that much.
I think back in the day, though, no one was talking about Halo Wars. It was kind of
Period,
just,
yeah.
it was that slow crawl. I agree with you. I don't think this thing's going to be a runaway hit.
There's no way it even, in my mind, even hits like
The million.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I was gonna say like 600,000 or 800,000 even. Like maybe if it becomes like a promotional tool, like later on down the road, you see it on games with gold for a discounted price.
absolutely.
Then
Yeah.
maybe people will pick it up.
But see, that's where I think those numbers are going to start getting up there a bit
Yeah.
more. Because that's where you see something, it's discounted. The Halo name alone is just like, oh, cool, I'm interested. But yeah, it being an RTS on a console, it limits the like amount of people that are even interested so much.
yeah, you can even play this on PC too, because
Yeah.
the Xbox is
Oh, yeah.
all Windows thing,
Exactly.
and it's still
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with all this said, despite the fact that arguably the quality of the games haven't declined, the
Are we talking
sales
about Halo Wars now?
Halo
or
in general,
Halo
but like
in
going back
general?
mainly to the main franchise, Halo is on a downward slope in terms of that. Having said that, it is still the
it's still
biggest
huge.
exclusive that Microsoft has. Gears of War behind it, and not including like Forza and all that stuff, just because I don't know anything about that. And those games are almost annualized.
Forza
at this
is
point.
a really big franchise
Huge
for 'em, but
franchise.
not Halo status.
Yeah. So I want to talk about the future of Halo and when we think we're going to see Halo 6 and everything we know so far. So here are the facts. Earlier this year, Phil Spencer said he's incredibly proud of 2017's Xbox lineup, adding that it's going to be an interesting year for us because we don't have Gears, we don't have a Halo first-person shooter game. So he's saying we do not have either of those this year, which
Xbox needs
is huge.
exclusives.
They do.
man.
And
Like
not having
bad.
those two is rough, especially when you have a new console launching.
Honestly, at this point, I'm down for new exclusives. Like I'll always love my Gears, I'll always love my Halo, but I need new characters and new worlds to like sink my teeth into.
Okay. In a post on Reddit, 343 community manager Brian Jarrett, aka Sketch 343. You guys don't know? I don't know. Tempered fans' expectations for E3, saying that while the studio will have something at E3, it won't be tied to Halo 6. He said, quote, "I'll slip into my Dream Crusher persona for a minute in the name of realistic expectations. We've said this already, but we'll have a little something at E3, but it's not related to the next major entry in the franchise." Separately, the same dude said he went to Reddit to squash the rumors once and for all about Halo 3 anniversary, saying, "OMG, stop. There is no Halo 3 anniversary." Okay. And then Frank O'Connor
Frank.
said on the story of it, We very much realized that people wanted Master Chief's story in Halo 5. We definitely marketed it in a way that we had hoped was going to bring surprise, but for some fans, and certainly fans of Master Chief, it was a huge disappointment because they wanted more Chief. It wasn't that surprising to me, Connor continued, but the volume of give us more Chief at the end of Halo 5 was significant, and so I think if anything, he's slightly more important now than he's ever been, certainly to our franchise. The focus for the franchise now will not be on bringing in new characters or expanding the number of playable characters. Instead, 343 will be making the world a little bit more realistic and compelling. Additionally, earlier this year at DICE, studio head Bonnie Ross confirmed that all future FPS Halo games will have split-screen multiplayer. Fuck yes.
Yes.
Big feature amongst the Halo hardcore. There's a lot I disagree and agree with in there. Like I don't actually necessarily think that bringing on new playable characters is a bad thing, right? Like
No.
people look at Halo 2, right? There's a big section of the game that's playable as the Arbiter, right?
I actually hated that section.
No, but
I actually
that? I
hated
don't
a lot of
think
people
shit
anyone
no,
has-
but, okay, maybe you guys didn't like it, and maybe it's divisive, but there are a lot of people who thought that was really cool.
Yeah,
and
A
I
lot of
thought it
people
was
that thought
pretty
Raiden
cool.
was cool in Metal Gear Solid 2 as well.
I haven't played Metal Gear Solid, so
You're so fucking.
But-
you would
but-
love it.
yeah,
I get where Sean's
I'm not a
coming
big,
from
like,
in the
covert
terms
guy.
of like it was cool being a Spartan next to other Spartans and expanding that universe in the sense that like sure like I personally don't want new playable characters. Give me the Chief. Like I'm all in invested in Chief and Cortana. But yeah, I'd like to see new Spartan characters or maybe new Covenant characters or whatnot that make a stand.
I mean, the universe that Halo has fleshed out for itself is so awesome, and I do think that there's this like wealth of characters and stuff that you could bring into the story. And yeah, some, in my opinion, like one or two more, like again, a new playable character isn't necessarily a bad thing in my mind. I just think it's how they did Locke in Halo 5 that turned everyone off, including me. Like what ended up happening narrative-wise between Chief and Locke was not nearly as cool as everyone had
lackluster.
thought it might have been, right? Like,
Well, even then they
There was
built
no
it up.
poncho.
They built it up to be this one
I hate
big
you.
thing between Locke and Chief, and it wasn't.
yeah,
at
so
all.
like if you were I followed
marketed it that way,
Remember
like-
like Hunt the Truth, that podcast and stuff? There was
Yeah.
all this great backstory to the intel and to Oni and to what the press outside of the military was saying about these two characters and about like the situation that Master Chief seemingly created and then
Yep.
just ejected from. It seemed like there was going to be, and even the trailers that kind of had like two different perspectives from Chief's perspective and Locke's perspective suggested that Halo 5 would delve into this misunderstanding of what the Chief's role was in all these crazy sort of engagements. And then you'd come in as the new guy on the block and have to unravel the mysteries, figure out what was fact and what was fiction, and kind of hunt down this legend of a
truth.
character. Yeah. And that sounds awesome because you know what that sounds like to me? Mass Effect 1, where you come in and you're Commander Shepard and you're the first human Spectre, and your first thing is, all right, you're the first human Spectre, we don't trust you because we don't trust humans, you guys are young and stupid according to the Council, but you have to go after Saren, our longest running, most cunning and
Yeah.
smart Spectre, and all of a sudden you're like, damn, dude, this sounds crazy. He seems like way stronger and smarter and more powerful and better connected than me.
the
But
veteran.
still, it's my job. I got to go after him. And that story unravels in such an awesome way. And that if Halo could have done even just a part of that in Halo 5, I don't think you'd see many people complaining, and I think you'd see a greater attachment to Locke. But it didn't do that, so I think that sucks. But I don't think that you can lump in what I just said with no new characters. Obviously, we want Chief more because he was only in the game like 3 missions. But I'm not going to go all the way and say I only ever want to play Master Chief ever because there's been times in the past, like in Halo 2, where I thought the game benefited from a different perspective.
So okay, so that's all the story-based stuff.
Yeah.
The rest of it, do you believe it? They're saying so. A couple things to keep in mind. Halo 1, 10 years after it released, Anniversary Edition. Halo 2, 10 years after release, Anniversary Edition in Master Chief Collection. Halo 3, it's going to be 10 years this year. So
Yeah.
the difference is we don't really need it because Master Chief Collection had it and it already gave it the upgrade to the 1080p 60. So I don't know how much more they would need to add or what it could do.
Yeah, I mean,
think
I
the main
believe it,
reason
right?
why-
I believe they won't
yeah.
make one.
Yeah, I don't think they will. But I think the main reason why people are asking for one is because the Halo community is stubborn and they want to go back to that old school way of like Halo and MP and how it plays.
Plus, Halo 3 multiplayer is awesome.
So I mean, my thing is like I want to tend to believe what they're saying, But I feel like there has to be a Halo game. I know that there's multiple reports here saying that this year's not going to have one. But with the Scorpio launch, I just feel like that would be such a missed opportunity. Not that in history Halo's launched with consoles, both Xbox One and 360 didn't. But I think the Scorpio, they're in a different place right now. They need to fire on all cylinders.
Well, the place they're in is up against the ropes.
Exactly.
Like, I am 100% on board with you. Xbox, Microsoft, they have to come out at E3 like guns blazing, and they have to really make the case for why people are going to be interested, or why people should be interested in Scorpio. Like, they have
hardware-wise, it'll be there. It's already there.
No, yeah, I know, and they've done a good job.
But more powerful hardware is nothing without the games.
Yeah,
and
totally.
they need, because right now they got Sea of Thieves, Crackdown.
Be cool.
It looks cool as shit.
But that's it. Like, that's really it.
Like I said, man,
they need something.
Like, there are games that are coming down the pipeline that look really cool, like Cuphead and stuff that don't benefit from a Scorpio treatment. And if you're trying to sell new hardware, and you've put a bunch of stock in this console, then yeah, you got to come out swinging, and that means like Halo or Gears of War. But if they said that they're not going to do that,
that's the problem. It's like,
here's the thing:
I'm okay with that though, man. Like, how many times are we?
You're not okay with it being nothing, though, right?
No, but like, how many times as a hardcore Xbox like player do I look at like Tim or Greg and I'm completely jealous because they have this huge history of so many diverse characters with different universes and whatnot. And then I look at Xbox and I'm like, I got Gears. We had Blinks at one
Shout out
point.
to Blinks.
Fucking,
don't hate on Blinks.
Like, I don't have this, like, I don't feel like I have this history with Xbox and their characters as vast or as even close to like Sony.
Okay, but Microsoft is also a lot younger than Sony in that regard. So
completely. But
it's getting to the point where it's not that much younger.
But at the same time, it's like, when do you
15
start?
15 years younger.
No.
Yeah.
What? How?
So what year was PlayStation 1 and then
PlayStation
Xbox?
1 came out in Japan in 94.
Oh, okay, so not 15 years. But like
less than 10.
Yeah. But
and
again,
if you're talking about America, like way less than 10.
Yeah, like 7 or 5 even. Because when did Xbox 1?
2001.
Yeah. Xbox One, lol.
Yeah.
Original
OG
Xbox, yeah.
Whatever. I get what you're saying. And you're right, is going back to the same franchises over and over and over. There's fatigue there. However, when Xbox is in the situation it is right now, where they are like seconds and they want to be first, and they are launching a new console that is really trying to say, hey, this is why we're better than them. Come here. You need those sticking points. And not having a Gears and Halo, that sounds like a mistake to me. Now, the thing is, Halo 3, I don't think they're going to do the anniversary thing.
We just got a Gears, though.
But we did just get a Gears. That's what I'm saying. Like, Gears, I think, is out of the
But it might be some other heavy hitter. Like, here's the thing is, Microsoft is full of people who are way smarter than any of us. Like, surely if we're sitting here being like, it seems like a bad idea that they're not going to come out with a heavy hitter to launch Scorpio, then they must have thought about that 1,000 times over by now. So, yes, they may not come out with a Gears or a Halo, but they'll come out with something for sure. Now, I don't know what it is. We don't know what it is. Perfect. And Xbox is in a tough spot right now because, you know, they confirmed their two of their big heavy hitters aren't going to be part of this year's E3. But then also we didn't see, you know, we had Scalebound canceled, which is a bummer.
Recore,
yeah,
underperformed.
But okay, so taking this back to Halo though, what do we think is going to happen? So they're saying no Halo 6 at E3. The thing to keep in mind about that, some timing, is Halo 4 was announced at E3 2011 and then came out E3 2012. Or sorry, November 2012. Halo 5 announced E3 2013, came out October 2015, so the 2 years. So going off of that, it would make sense for them to announce Halo this year if it's going to come out.
We're in a special spot, though, because I think that originally they announced Halo 5, 6, 7 as a trilogy, and then not long after they walked that back.
No.
But I do believe that they had tied story elements from 5 into 6, and that those were going to be kind of part 1 and part 2 of whatever major story for Chief going forward. And then with the reaction to Locke, I'll bet you they had to walk a lot of that back, you know, write that character out, shift the narrative, make it refocus it on Chief and Cortana, which ended up overall playing a smaller part in Halo 5. If you're talking about launching your biggest franchise and trying to make it the game that gamers want, like, you're going to take the time to make sure it is that game and not go out early and
so my
do
thing
something
is,
at E3.
Totally agree with you, but I think that a CG trailer is not that hard to get done. to put out and just like announce. And I know that that's not the right
that's
thing.
That's not gonna like you're announcing hardware. You want to show off the hardware's power.
Absolutely.
So that means not a CG trailer. That means gameplay.
No, for sure. And I'm totally with you. But say that there is a new game coming out, like whatever their new IP is, if they were to do that, that is the Scorpio seller, you need to give them the carrot at the end of the stick of like, and you're also going to get Halo 6. Here's a preview. Like Sony is so good about this, and people would argue it's like, oh, I don't want to hear about games that aren't fucking real.
Thank you. I mean, that's a valid thing.
It is,
it's
but there's
so
real
cool to
hype.
see. Yeah, okay. But
there's excitement when you're playing. What Sony's doing now is, and not to make this a fucking fanboy war, but they have exclusives, and there's a whole future of exclusives that we can look at.
And that's great.
And I'm very
when I
jealous
get to
about
play
that.
them when I'm 40 years old.
I mean, all right.
It is so cool to hear about Hideo Kojima and Death Stranding and to see all these elements like coming into play. But man, that game is not even a game yet. Like, I think that it's a little, and I am a self-admittedly a Microsoft guy, an Xbox guy, but I own a PlayStation 4 and a PlayStation 3, and I play all the big exclusives in time. Like, it took me a long time to get to Uncharted and Uncharted 2 and Uncharted 3, but I played them and I love them. But I don't like this idea of like, you hear about 3, 4, 5 games and it's like, wow, we have a lot of exclusives, but really in time, like it's like you're looking at a 10-year plan as opposed to a 2-year plan. But then they deliver
on it though. It's not like it's just there's not games now and it's only talking about the games in the future. Like even the last like 4 months, the exclusives.
But that's not exactly true. Like I can't point to it exactly when because that's good and that's always good.
I look at Xbox. I'm like, what the fuck is like? What is there for me? It's such a weird time to be an Xbox fan because I sit here and people ask me like almost on the daily. They're like, hey, Fredo, like what games are you looking forward to? And I'm like, all the PlayStation exclusives when they come out eventually.
Listen, I am not going to defend Microsoft and say like what they're doing now is fine. Because I'm not fine with that. I would love to know about games that are coming this year, next year, that I'm really stoked for. And there are a few of them, like I am stoked for Crackdown. But I also don't think Sony's doing it exactly right either, because the games you're really, really hyped about are games you're going to be playing years down the road. And not always. And here's the other thing is I wish I was an IGN editor now because I would have the knowledge to point to this. But there have been points in the PS4 life cycle when there was no exclusives now or in the next 6 months to a year.
No. See, that's not right. The thing is, there have been points
way down the road.
That's not true. There have been points, and it's only been during the holiday seasons of each year because that's when Sony backs off. And going into it, we're all like, "Oh man, how is PS4 going to go a holiday without an exclusive?" Then they did it again. Then they did it again. It's like, what are they doing? But then it's like, oh no, that's when they're just letting the third parties shine. That's when they're going to get the COD sales and the Destiny sales and Assassin's Creed. And then we've been seeing it, like looking at this year with Neo and Nier and Horizon and just bam, 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 bam. And they just keep going. And then now we're going to get in the holiday season where we're not going to get anything.
Sucks being an Xbox gamer right now.
But I don't know.
I mean, the point
does it though? Like,
what do we have to look forward to?
Like I said, I'm really stoked on. Hey, don't hate.
It's gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be really cool.
It's gonna be super niche, super niche.
I mean, okay.
Did you play it
at E3? Yeah, I played it.
Yeah, I played it at E3. Had a great time playing it.
Yeah, it's fun.
As a fun gimmicky experience that I'm super done with after that. It's gonna be a great Let's Play game. Super fun Let's Play game.
It'll be a ton of fun to play with your friends. Again, there's some cool indies coming down the pipeline. I'm really looking forward to Cuphead. I'm really looking forward to Tacoma.
They better fucking give us a release date for Cuphead and Below.
Yeah, it's been so long for both of those games. But again, these are games that, like you said, they're niche games. They're indie games. They're not your AAA sellers. They're not your Death Strandings or your Halos. So that is, if that's what you want, then yeah, it might suck. But for me personally, like I like a nice mix of games that I can knock out in 1 or 2 sittings, like a Firewatch or something like that, or a Tacoma or whatever. Plus the big franchises that I hold near and dear to my heart, like the Halos and the Gears of Wars. So yeah, it kind of sucks that we don't have one of the big AAA ones coming down, minus Crackdown, which who's to know about that game? We still don't really know a lot about that game. Again, I'm not going to say we're not in a tough spot, but I'm never going to go ahead and say it sucks to be a gamer. This year's been so good for games on Xbox and PlayStation. Yeah, but I mean, even if you we got Resident Evil, if you got that on Xbox and stuff, like.
But that's on multiple platforms.
That's what I'm saying is like, just because you're a little light on exclusives doesn't make it suck to be an Xbox gamer. There's
No,
always
but
good
I-
stuff
exactly.
to play.
But for
Which
the
is
first
the
time
argument
in
for
like God
PS4's
knows, like
holiday.
the first time in forever, I haven't touched my Xbox in like months
I turn on my Xbox every day, but not
to
always to play
play
games.
Halo 5.
Not always to play games though either. Like it's a great
Yeah, no, for
Netflix
sure.
console.
I mean, I need more characters. I need more exclusives. I need a reason why I should buy the Scorpio instead of just like, especially me, because I play a lot of my games on PC now. Like, what stops me from just, if it's on multiple platforms, playing it on a different platform? Like,
Oh, well, see, that's a different argument, though, is because PC is, like, definitively the best platform for games just in general. Because, yeah, technically it's, like, far superior, and it's got way better functionality than consoles in an unwalled garden, right? So if you have a PC, and the game you want to play is on PC, there's almost zero reason to play it on consoles, minus things like your friends are there for that game or whatever, right? Or like in the case of Prey, there's a game-breaking bug on PC or something like that, which they fixed. But I mean, that's like all I'm saying is it's a different argument. When you bring PC into the picture, it's
totally different.
it changes the dynamic of PS4 versus Xbox One.
Yeah.
And not that we're talking about consoles versus one another. I think all gamers benefit from competition between both companies.
That's the thing is like I own all three
Yeah.
and I love playing the big Xbox games that I like. I'm not a Gears guy. I am a Halo guy. So I enjoy playing Halo on it. But yeah, besides that, it's like I'm more in the PlayStation ecosystem, so I'd rather play over there. I played Resident Evil 7 on Xbox, but that was just a coincidental thing. But yeah, there is no Xbox game besides Cuphead that I'm excited for. I'm hoping they announce Ori 2.
You're not interested in the Crackdown?
Nah, not
Did you
really.
play Crackdown 1?
Yeah, just a little
fun.
bit dabbled. But
I mean,
it's-
Crackdown 1 is very underrated. I think
Yep.
nowadays, people know how awesome it was, but at the time, no one was talking about Crackdown, and it was only like a year later people were like, "Dang, that Crackdown was like really good."
it's like crack.
it was like,
Yeah.
I'm down with that.
GTA superhero type feel.
So, okay, getting back to the topic at hand, Halo.
Yeah.
What are they going to do at E3? Because my bet is,
I would have said Halo Wars, but now I
Bet you
have
they'll
no
do nothing.
fucking clue.
I mean, they said they're doing something.
Oh yeah, okay.
they
So
said
Bonnie Ross,
something.
yeah. So the studio 343 is just they're always involved in Halo, and Halo is such a big part of Microsoft's DNA that they will do something, but it's not going to be a game. I'll bet you.
It could be
that-
a
that's
Halo
why it's
cinematic
interesting.
thing.
Here's my Hail Mary prediction.
Final Halo.
Remember
Finally
that
Halo
Steven
movie.
Spielberg
Yeah.
TV produced
Yeah.
Halo? I'll bet you they come out and announce that.
That's an option. I don't think that'll be it.
No, I know.
If
That's not
fucking
gonna happen, but I
Microsoft
hope
at
it
their
happens.
E3 conference talks about a goddamn TV show, it's gonna be like, guys, you just aren't freaking listening.
No.
At another hardware reveal, you're gonna double down on
I'm
the
just
TV
gonna say,
bullshit.
I just think that's what they're gonna do with Halo specifically.
Yeah.
They
So,
know
yeah.
better than anyone. Phil Spencer,
Phil Spencer
knows better
knows
than
what the
anyone.
fuck is
Yeah.
up. But the thing with Halo is, I think that there's a chance, and this would also be a weird decision for them to make, but that Scorpio doubles down on Oculus talk because of the Microsoft connection there.
Like a Halo S type.
And some Halo VR stuff, and like, oh, look how powerful this VR is because of the power of the Scorpio.
That could be cool.
That's an option. I think that that they could just show more HoloLens stuff, but I also think that at this point that's a little.
HoloLens doesn't demo well on stage is the thing, you know? Like
yeah, the
I remember
Minecraft one.
a lot of so I was in the audience at when they showed the HoloLens demo of Minecraft at E3. And it was amazing because I could literally see what she was seeing on the screen behind her and then see her physically in the same room as I am, and there's nothing being there. And that's amazing. But everyone who watched on stream was like, I don't get it. Like,
Yeah, because we saw
what
it.
is, you're seeing what
Like,
she's
we
seeing.
saw it. Yeah, but
And you're just like, so that's cool. It's a bunch of blocks.
yeah.
And you didn't get that, like, it wasn't in the space
Yeah.
that you were looking at on stream. But I mean, that's a cool thing. Like, did you guys get to try the Halo 5 HoloLens demo?
Yeah,
At
at
E3?
E3. Yeah, you did, didn't you? Or maybe that was the
You're
thing
like
we sent
you're like
Cisco to
walking around
instead.
in a ship,
Oh yeah, yeah,
and then you go
yeah,
play
yeah.
Warzone. I mean, that HoloLens demo was amazing.
It was really good.
And so, like, I could see them maybe
doing something
doing
with that.
something
I don't
like
know.
that, just to bring Halo back into the discussion.
Yeah,
I feel like that was, now thinking about it, that's probably what it's gonna be.
some HoloLens or VR stuff.
Yeah.
Sure, it won't be Steven Spielberg on stage being like,
No.
I don't think so.
Tom Cruise is Master Chief.
I don't know. The thing is, all the rumors, all the real official statements are saying Halo 6 is not there.
Yeah.
All the rumors and like people that I like trust and that have credible sources, they seem to think it's not going to be there. I still think that there is a good chance we see a CG Halo 6 trailer, but I don't know. Could be wrong. It's not a guarantee, but I do think that there is a chance that we will.
I just want games. I want reasons to play on the Scorpio.
What say you?
I mean, I got to take them at their word, right? They said no.
All right.
I don't think they'll do a Halo 6 thing.
Halo VR.
Let us know in the comments below when you think Halo 6 is going to show up. Hey, what's up? Hope you enjoyed that. If you did, you can click right there to subscribe to Kind of Funny Games. If you want some stuff that's not video game related, bam, click over there, subscribe to Kind of Funny. If you want to support us monetarily, I'd appreciate it. Click right there. And click right here for some fun Kevin nudes. Maybe.
No.